Chapter 71 Confrontation between Holy Soldiers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening to Dongfang Yuan's words, the two women thought deeply and found that what he said was indeed very reasonable. If the Tianyan Dynasty directly showed a strong saint at this moment, even a great saint. As soon as the news spreads, the maritime forces will definitely focus on it. They will definitely be curious about where the strong men of the Tianyan Dynasty come from, and then the Tianyan Dynasty will immediately become the target of public criticism. This also reminded Xiao Qingli of the time when she was not the empress and joined a sect. The leader of that sect once said, "Before you have the absolute strength to face all difficulties calmly, you must not be too high profile." Is Tianyan Dynasty's plan to unify the northern territory still going ahead? Xiao Qingli asked after regaining her consciousness. Of course. The northern territory will naturally be unified, and the plan will proceed as normal. It's just that no matter what kind of opponent we face, the strength shown by our Tianyan dynasty only needs to ensure that we can defeat them. There is no need to go too far in reducing the dimensionality. Dongfang Yuan knew it in his heart. If a force with a semi-saint in charge is destroyed, then at most one saint will be dispatched. If the great sage is dispatched all at once, not only will it be too ostentatious, but it will also be targeted by other forces. If he wants to do things in a high profile, at least his Tianyan dynasty must have enough foundation and strength. Xiao Qingli also felt that Dongfang Yuan's idea was quite good and very stable. His thinking was based on the overall situation from the beginning. As long as the Tianyan dynasty's background is never revealed, it will be covered with a veil of mystery in the eyes of the world. Hey, Chonglu is working hard. It's wonderful. At this time, Dongfang Yuan noticed changes in the battlefield and the sky. I saw that Zhonglo had already tested the upper limit of Gekangsing's power at this moment, so there was no need to hide it anymore. He exploded with all his strength, and the wrist demon sword slashed out twice in succession, so fiercely that he pushed on Ikura Yui back. The next second, Chonglo's figure was as fast as the wind, passing across, appearing behind Onigiri Yuki. He slashed his back twice with a wrist knife. Chi. Puff. Guizhang Xing was unable to defend himself, and was immediately wounded by the sword in the back. His back clothes collapsed, his flesh and blood were blurred, and he spit out a mouthful of blood. Ancestor. Seeing Gekangsing being injured by Chonglu, Yidao and Lini's expressions changed. Han Zhao also looked solemn at this moment. This person's strength must be higher than that of our ancestors. He has been hiding his strength before, just to find flaws in the ancestor. What? Then didn't we lose? When Yidao heard this, his expression changed in shock. Do not. Ancestor will not lose. The sect leader asked us to bring the sky-breaking sword here just in case. It seems that we really need to use the holy soldiers today. Han Zhao's eyes flashed with a fierce light and his face became serious. At this moment, Oni Tsangxing's figure stopped in mid-air, his expression extremely ugly. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and smiled ferociously. Okay, I haven't felt hurt in many years. I have to say, you are amazing. Based on your own strength alone, you are far above me. But today, you will not escape death after all. As soon as he finished speaking, the sword in Gekangsing's hand disappeared. The next moment, he took out a black knife in his hand. The blade is jet black, the blade is sharp, and there is a holy energy lingering around the blade, which is extremely powerful. I saw Guizhang holding the sword high, pointing towards the sky. Boom. Suddenly, the sword light burst out of the sky changed color, and a huge black vortex suddenly appeared in the entire sky, like a black hole, with dense black sword light flying around it, and quickly condensed into a huge sword light. Heaven-breaking sword. The Fengyun sect's sex-oppressing heritage, the sky-breaking sword. After seeing Gekangsing take out the sky-breaking sword, the faces of Tai Poyan and Tianyu King also darkened. As natives of the Northern Territory, they had naturally heard the rumors about Fengyun sect's sky-breaking sword. 1 sword can collapse the earth, 2 swords can shatter stars, 3 swords can suppress the sea, 4 swords can shake the world. The sky-breaking sword appears and the situation changes. At this moment, Looking at the huge black vortex in the sky and the terrifying sword light emitting from the surroundings, all the soldiers of the Tianyan Dynasty could not help but feel their hearts beating faster. That's Xinghai. Not the holy power of an ordinary semi-saint, but the holy power of a true saint. A strike from a holy soldier is comparable to a full-force strike from a saint. Oh, now, the Tianyan dynasty is over. Yidao looked at the sword light condensed in the sky and sneered. The same was true for Emolini and Han Zhao, with disdainful sneers on their faces. This is the consequence of going against their Futian sect. So what if you were the reincarnation of a powerful person and trained a semi-saint? In front of the true power of the Holy Realm, he is still like an ant. Han Zhao and the others can guarantee that if this sword light is struck down, the entire Tianyan imperial city will be completely destroyed, and above the sky and clouds, Han Yinkuan, Gu Jiuanli, and Ming Jinqi also saw this scene. It seems the suspense is gone. Gu Zhangxing has brought the sky-breaking sword with him, and he is already determined to destroy the Tianyan dynasty at all costs. No matter how strong the half-saint called Chonglu is, he will not be able to withstand the attack of the saint soldier. Gu Jiuanli stood in the clouds and mist, as if he had already predicted the outcome, and said calmly. The Tianyan dynasty has given us a lot of shock today. But it's a pity that the overlord-level forces are not something they can shake at the moment. The background of the holy soldier is the key to everything. Ming Jinqi also thinks so. The two of them, as the core leaders of the overlord-level force, both understood what Futian sect's dispatch of the sky-breaking sword represented. Tianyan dynasty has no hope. Even Han Yinkuan thought so in his heart at this time. However, when he saw Chonglu's hand slowly taking out something, his eyes suddenly shrank and he exclaimed, "Look! What is that?" Chapter 72 Shocking the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Han Yinkuan said this, Ming Jinqi and Gu Jiuanli also looked over. I saw Zhonglo facing Gekangsing's sky-breaking sword, his whole figure standing straight in the sky, not dodging or dodging, and in his hand, a spike appeared in the palm of his hand, Qianquan thorn. Dongfang Yuan temporarily handed over the Qianquan thorn to him before the battle was about to begin. I saw Zhonglo holding the Qianquan thorn high at the moment, and the holy power spread out from it, like a stormy sea, extremely powerful. The power of the Qianquan thorn condenses one after another of holy light directly in front of Chonglu, which is even mixed with the power of space. Suddenly the sky changed color and the earth trembled. The holy power of the Qianquan thorn materialized around the sky, forming a tens of thousands of meters long holy light offensive. The momentum shocked the hearts of everyone present. Everyone in Futian sect, from the disciples to Han Zhao, Gu Zhangxing and others, were all horrified. Holy soldier! How is this possible? The Tianyan dynasty actually has holy weapons. Han Zhao's heart and liver were trembling, and his whole face was roaring as if he had seen a ghost. Emolini, Yidao, and the rest of the Futian sect all looked at the Qianquan thorn Xinghai with their eyes wide open, with expressions of horror on their faces. Although Gekangsing was also in a turmoil in his heart, the matter had come to this, and he had no way out. Then let's see who is better. Gekangsing looked fierce and determined. He directly held the sky-breaking sword and slashed straight down. The sword's light was unparalleled and powerful. It could shatter the earth's holy energy. The sword's light was like the creation of the world. Break! Chonglu's face was cold and stern. He controlled the power of the Qianquan thorn, and the tens of thousands of meters of holy light offensive also exploded and shot. Boom! The two holy soldiers' offensives collided hard, and the aftermath caused the collapse of many houses in the surrounding streets below. Everyone in the sky felt the terrifying power and couldn't help but feel suffocated. However, the sword light of the sky-breaking sword was directly pierced by the power of Qianquan thorn after less than 2 breaths. Xinhuang's offensive was like a sharp arrow, shooting towards Gekangsing as fast and violently as thunder. What? Gekangsing's expression changed drastically. At this moment, he finally showed a look of fear on his face. He hurriedly turned around to avoid it, but unfortunately the saint's power did not give him a chance to escape. Laugh. Boom! The holy light of the Qianquan thorn shot through Gekangsing's body. His whole body stopped suddenly in mid-air, and a huge blood hole appeared on his upper body. All the internal organs inside have disappeared. Oni Zhangxing's face showed unwillingness and despair. No. I'm not reconciled. He was not willing to die like this. However, less than half a second later, his body disappeared into ashes in the sky. The power of the holy weapon was so powerful that he couldn't even leave a hair on his head, and he was completely dead without any trace of his body. Dongfang Yuan, who was sitting in the Jade Crystal Palace, looked at this scene with a satisfied smile on his face. As for the people of Futian sect, there was only one word on their ships at this time: quiet. As silent as death. The faces of all the disciples were full of fear, even Han Zhao and Emolini. Their faces were pale at this moment. I didn't dare to look at the scene I saw in front of me. The ancestor of their Futian sect is dead. Dead? Withdraw. Quickly withdraw. After the audience was quiet for a while, Han Zhao, who was the first to react, immediately roared. His figure was about to flee away. Humph. I want to escape. Unfortunately, you don't have this chance. Your Majesty has an order. No one who comes today will be spared. Kill me. After receiving Dongfang Yuan's instructions, Xuanhuan, who was next to the Jade Crystal Palace, immediately drew out his long sword and shouted loudly. Kill. For a time, Tai Poyan, King Tianyu, Arrow God and others led the soldiers of Tianyan Dynasty to charge and kill the people of Futian sect. Shadow guards, god-slaying guards, and golden-armored guards all roamed the battlefield in the sky, ruthlessly harvesting the lives of Futian sect disciples. Because of Oni Zhangxing's life and death, the morale of both sides reached an extreme. The Tianyan Dynasty reached its peak, and the soldiers were all excited, and extremely brave. As for the Futian sect, their morale has dropped to a low point, and they have no fighting spirit at all. Almost everyone just wants to escape from here. The disciples of Futian sect were completely defeated and torn into pieces, and the flying ships were continuously shot and destroyed by the Arrow God, Xuanhuan and Tai Poyan, together with the Shadow Guards and the God-Zancing Guards, were also massacring the Tianzuan realm elders of Futian sect. As soon as Han Zhao escaped not far away, he met Fei Peng head-on. The semi-holy aura on Fei Peng's body shook out, directly lifting his figure away. Half-holy. Another half-saint. Han Zhao was so scared that his legs were weak at this moment. What a joke. There is only one half-saint among the overlord-level forces in the entire northern territory. Two people suddenly appeared in the Tianyan Dynasty. What is going on here? Forgive me. Senior, please forgive me. Blocked by the half-saint, Han Zhao never thought of trying to escape. He immediately knelt in the sky, kowtowed to Fei Peng and begged for mercy. Hard to imagine, a powerful man at the peak of the heavenly realm, famous in the northern territory, and the deputy sect leader of Futian sect. One day, I will fall to this point, where I will lose my dignity and kneel down to beg for mercy, asking others to spare my life. It's really sad. However, Fei Peng ignored him. He took action as usual, using his two fingers as swords, and slashed out a silver sword light, killing Han Zhao on the spot and dismembering him on the spot. What? Dongfang Yuan. The sect leader will definitely avenge us. We are waiting for you in hell. Boom. Emolini struggled and shouted before dying, but in the end, he and Yidao were killed in the sky by Chonglu. What? The entire Tianyan imperial city was filled with bloody killings. Those people from the Futian sect were like lambs being killed by the people from the Tianyan dynasty holding butcher knives. In less than a stick of incense, everyone in the Futian sect was dead. Not a single person was left alive, and the smell of blood in the sky reached its peak. Dongfang Yuan sat in the Jade Crystal Palace and immediately said, King Tianyu, lead your people to clean up the battlefield. The rest of you, go back to the palace. Yes, Your Majesty. Afterwards, the two ice spirit white dragons received the instructions and directly pulled the Jade Crystal Palace back to the palace. Xuanhuan, Arrow God and others also followed back, and King Tianyu led some soldiers to start cleaning up the battlefield. At this time, Han Yingkuan and the others were stunned in the clouds and mist in the sky. They looked numb, and the horror on their faces lingered for a long time. The Tianyan Dynasty isn't it too scary? There are actually half-saints. And there are also holy soldiers. How did they grow up? Ming Jinshi was speaking now, his tone full of shock. Now that the sky-breaking sword has fallen into the hands of the Tianyan Dynasty, they now have two holy weapons. And the Fengyan sect's vitality was completely damaged in this battle. Dongfang Yuan is very ambitious and seems to have the idea of unifying the northern territory. No. You have to get out of here first. Gu Juanli thought for a while and immediately decided to leave first, but anyway, news of this battle will be spread soon. Their Tianyan sect needs a group discussion with the top management to see how to deal with this matter. Ming Jinshi was just like him and just wanted to leave. Suddenly, a figure in black clothes appeared in front of them. It's the demonic respect building. Gu Juanli and the other three were immediately startled. Your Excellency, are you okay? Gu Juanli asked cautiously. His tone couldn't help but tremble, which was a sign of fear. After all, this man had just killed a semi-saint alive right in front of their eyes. Chapter 73. Turn your elbows outward. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Your Majesty, please invite the three of you to the palace to have a brief talk. Chonglu's tone was calm, and there was no hint of emotion or anger. From the very beginning, the three of them hid above the clouds and mist, but in fact they did not hide anything from Dongfang Yuan at all. At this time, Chonglu came here in person, and the three of them had no other choice but to follow Chonglu into the palace. Tianyan Palace. Dongfang Yuan sat on the throne. Medusa and Xiao Qingli sat on the phoenix throne on the side, and Zhonglo led the three people into the palace. Your Majesty, we have been brought here. Chonglu said. Thank you for your hard work. You go down and rest first. Dongfang Yuan said with a smile. Yes. Chonglu also pretended to leave. Han Yinkuan and Gu Juanli were standing in the main hall at the moment. After Zhonglo left, they clasped their fists at Dongfang Yuan and said, Emperor Yuan, I'm glad to meet you. The three of them are all famous figures in the Northern Territory. I wonder what the purpose of the three of you standing above the clouds and mist to watch this battle is. Dongfang Yuan said with a playful smile. Hearing this, Gu Juanli and the others became a little nervous. Emperor Yuan, Gu just wants to witness this battle with his own eyes and has no other intentions. Gu Juanli said cautiously. Dongfang Yuan nodded and said with a smile, Deputy Sect Leader Gu, I have heard of your name a long time ago. In this case, let's not talk secretly. Does Deputy Sect Leader Gu think that the current strength of our Tianyan Dynasty is not enough to unify the Northern Territory? As soon as Dongfang Yuan said these words, Gu Juanli couldn't help but shed a few drops of sweat. He thought quickly and after a while replied, Gu is not talented. This question can't really be answered. Dongfang Yuan smiled playfully. In that case, I will make it clearer. Three of you, if our Tianyan Dynasty wants to unify the Northern Territory, what will be the attitude of these three forces? Let's talk about it first. I just want to hear the truth. If you give me a bad look, you can't blame me for not treating you well. It was obvious that Dongfang Yuan wanted the three of them to make a statement today, otherwise, whether they can leave or not is a question. Han Yinkuan looked solemn. He was here to save his daughter, but he didn't expect that before the daughter could be rescued, he jumped into the pit first. This Tianyan Dynasty is really a dragon's pond and a tiger's den. Emperor Yuan, in fact, the question you asked is a bit premature. Han Yinkuan said immediately after thinking for a while. What do you mean by Sect Master Han's words? Dongfang Yuan looked at him and asked. Emperor Yuan, you may not know something. In the next few days, Xuanhuan, the young master of Fengyan sect, will return to Fengyan sect. Although he is the young master of Fengyan sect, he relied on his outstanding qualifications to join the Donggu Holy Land in the sea area. He also became a true disciple and was valued by the senior officials of the Holy Land. When he comes back this time, it is said that the elders of the Saint Realm who own the Holy Land will personally escort him. The news of today's battle will be spread soon. When thousands of people know how terrifying the Tianyan Dynasty's strength is, he will definitely wait for the people from Donggu Holy Land to arrive and ask the saint to take action. Therefore, Emperor Yuan's next goal should not be on forces like us, but should think about how to deal with the powerful saints in the Eastern Ancient Holy Land. Han Yinquan's words contained a huge amount of information. Dongfang Yuan was also a little surprised. He did not expect that the young master of Fengyan sect, Xuanhuan, would actually become the true successor of the Holy Land. What the fuck, what the fuck? Is it necessary to beat the young one to the old one again? Thank you, sect leader Han, for the reminder. In that case, if our Tianyan Dynasty succeeds in solving the Fengyan sect, we also deal with the people of the Eastern Ancient Holy Land. What will be the final attitude of those three forces? Dongfang Yuan said after thinking for a while. Han Yinquan and Gu Juanli looked at each other, and then Gu Juanli said seriously, if this is the case, if the Tianyan dynasty wants to unify the northern territory, our Tianyan sect will never resist and is willing to surrender. So does my Wuji sect. Ming Jinqi chased after him. I, the Xuanhuan sect, have no objection. All three of them had no objections. After all, if the Tianyan dynasty can even deal with the powerful saints of the Eastern Holy Land, then even if the three forces are opposed and unwilling to surrender, it will only be a struggle. It is good. 3 people are enough. Dongfang Yuan said with satisfaction, and then Gu Juanli and Ming Jinqi left one after another. Only Han Yinquan was left. Emperor Yuan, my little daughter. Just as Han Yinquan was about to say something, he was interrupted by Dongfang Yuan. Sect leader Han, I'm sorry before. Outsiders are present, and I have no choice but to do so. Don't worry, Xuanhuan is doing well in the palace. The emperor has already sent someone to call her. I believe she will be here soon. Han Yinquan was a little confused when he heard this outsider. What does this mean? Father, at this time, a voice sounded at the door. It was Qian Xinro who walked in with Han Wanxiang. Xuanhuan. Are you okay? Han Yinquan was a little excited when he saw his daughter. He took a look and found that her body was not injured, but when Han Wanxiang came closer, his pupils suddenly shrank, just because he discovered that Han Wanxiang's Xuanhuan Yuan had disappeared. In other words, my daughter's body has been broken. Suddenly, he felt angry and immediately wanted to find Dongfang Yuan for explanation, but on second thought, it's not right. He understands his daughter that if others use strong methods, it will only be counterproductive. Moreover, Han Wanxiang's face was rosy and full of energy, and it didn't look like he had been abused at all. Could it be that? Xuanhuan, she did it voluntarily. Dad, I'm fine. But I heard that people from Fengyan sect seem to be coming. Dad, you must stand by Tianyan this time and help His Majesty repel them together. Han Wanxiang said eagerly at this moment. She slept until now and had no idea that the battle in the imperial city was over. Chapter 74 9 Ghost Spirit Array. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And Han Wanxiang's words made Han Yinquan look confused. My head is buzzing. What happened to my daughter? How come you have only stayed in Tianyan Dynasty for a few days and now you are directly leaning towards Tianyan Dynasty? What kind of ecstasy soup did Dongfang Yuan drink? How could he let his daughter be so enamored of him? He even planned to bring the Xuanhuan sect to stand with the Tianyan Dynasty. Han Yinquan had to say in his heart that he really admired Dongfang Yuan at this moment. Xuanhuan, you don't know yet. While you were resting earlier, I had already killed all the intruders of Fengyan sect. Those powerful men from Fengyan sect are all dead. Dongfang Yuan sat above him and said with a calm expression. What? Killed them all? Dad, is this true? Han Wanxiang was also a little shocked. She heard that the people coming from Fengyan sect this time were all very powerful. Moreover, Han Zhao and Mo Lini personally led the team, which was definitely more than half the strength of Fengyan sect. Good. All the people who came to attack are dead. I believe that the news will spread throughout the northern territory soon. Emperor Yuan, I don't know about your relationship with my daughter. Han Yinquan turned around and asked. When Han Wanxiang heard her father ask this, her shy face turned slightly red. Sect Master Han. This emperor and Wanxiang truly love each other. The emperor plans to hold a ceremony to establish a queen and concubine in a few days. At that time, the emperor will officially give Wanxiang a title. Sect leader Han can rest assured about this. Hearing what Dongfang Yuan said, Han Yinkuan glanced at his daughter. I saw that Han Wanxiang's face was normal, without any reluctance. Han Yinkuan sighed. My daughter, whom I had worked so hard to raise, was dug up by the roots and the pot in just a few days. What's more, until now, they are consensual, and with the current strength of the Tianyan Dynasty, Dongfang Yuan's words may be enough to determine the life or death of the Xuanhuan sect. How could he refuse? Since Emperor Yuan and the little girl are in love, I, Han, will naturally not have any objections. It is natural that we, the Xuanhuan sect, can marry the Tianyan Dynasty and wish for it. Han Yinkuan said with a smile. Ha 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 ha. It is good. Sect Master Han, in this case, you will stay in the palace for the next few days so that you can participate in the grand ceremony in a few days. It just so happens that during this time, you can also accompany Wanxiang. Prime Minister Zhua, please make arrangements for the residence of Sect Master Han. Dongfang Yuan ordered. Yes, Your Majesty. Xuanhuan replied immediately. Thank you very much, Emperor Yuan. Han Yinkuan nodded, and then Han Wanxiang took Han Yinkuan around the Tianyan Palace. After leaving the main hall, Dongfang Yuan, Xiao Qingli, and Qian Xinro returned to the palace. Xinro, after the ceremony is over, you can just take care of the baby in the womb. Although you are smart, don't think too much, otherwise it will be bad for your health. In the dormitory, Dongfang Yuan touched Qian Xinro's belly and said softly. Qian Xinro joked, Your Majesty said this because now that he has experienced the taste of Sister Wanxiang's Xuanhuan holy body, he no longer looks down on Xinro. Xinro, look at what you said. The Emperor's love for each of you has never been partial. It's just that you are pregnant now. If you are not feeling well, I can't force you to do anything. Dongfang Yuan said with a smile. Xiao Qingli next to her rolled her eyes and almost got used to it, so she didn't say anything more. At this time, Qian Xinro smiled playfully. Although Xinro is not feeling well, other places can also help His Majesty relax his body and mind. After Qian Xinro finished speaking, she smiled slightly. Dongfang Yuan understood the meaning immediately. Okay. Then tonight, I will not ask Wanxiang to come over. I will teach you rower's moves first. Dongfang Yuan pinched Qian Xinro's face and smiled slightly. At this time, he gave Xiao Qingli the Tianyu 9-leaf grass and Yeyue crystal. My dear concubine, this is what I promised. Come, gather them all now. After Xiao Qingli took it, she confirmed it and then put it away. You have completed 2 of the 3 conditions. Ha 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 ha. Don't worry, my beloved, the Emperor has already asked the left Prime Minister to arrange the 3rd condition. Just get ready and have a romantic night with me. Dongfang Yuan said in front of Xiao Qingli's face, and patted her soft round buttocks. The latter couldn't help but blush. Saying such words in front of the arrogant Xiao Qingli made her think that she would sincerely cater to Dongfang Yuan. Xiao Qingli's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. Qian Xinro looked at Xiao Qingli's shy look and laughed out loud. Sister Xiao, it's okay. It will definitely be a bit hard to accept the first time. You'll get used to it later. What Qian Xinro said was based on experience. Just like today, she has gradually been developed from passive to active. Xiao Qingli's face turned even redder after hearing this. Dongfang Yuan stopped teasing her. She hugged Xiao Qingli and asked slowly, By the way, my beloved concubine, I haven't asked you yet. You want Tianyu 9-leaf grass and night moon crystal. What do you want to refine? 9 nether souls guiding array. Xiao Qingli said. 9 nether souls guiding array, what is this? Dongfang Yuan asked puzzledly. Neither he nor Qian Xinro had heard of this formation. This is the exclusive formation of the Jiuyou divine body. After setting up this formation, I can communicate with the Jiuyou Tianhe. If I am lucky, I can use this formation to restore 1,000th of my peak cultivation level. Xiao Qingli explained. Dongfang Yuan and Qian Xinro were both a little surprised. They didn't expect that the 9 nether spiritual array could have such an effect. 1,000th of Xiao Qingli's peak cultivation level, no matter what, I'm afraid he can at least step into the holy realm. When do you plan to start? Dongfang Yuan asked. After the ceremony is over. It will take more than half a month to carve this formation. You are not allowed to disturb me anymore by then. Xiao Qingli said this, and for some reason, her face suddenly turned red again. Dongfang Yuan was still in a daze and didn't react for a while. Qian Xinro chuckled, Your Majesty, you are so stupid. Sister Xiao means that after the ceremony is over, you can stop disturbing her enough and then let her carve the formation. Xinro, you talked a lot today. Do you deserve a beating? That when Xiao Qingli was right, she suddenly became anxious and stood up with a blush on her face. Sister Xiao is so shy. Qian Xinro smiled playfully, and then the 2 women started to fight in the room. Dongfang Yuan looked surprised unexpectedly. Before he captured Xiao Qingli, she had already arranged the time when he was going to capture her. Sure enough, she was influenced by what she heard and saw. Seeing Wanxiang and Xinro talking to her about their feelings one by one, she became a little curious. Dongfang Yuan sighed with a smile. Chapter 75 The Northern Territory is shocked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Less than half a day after the battle in Tianyan Imperial City ended, news of the outcome of the battle spread throughout the entire Northern Territory. Outside Tianyan Imperial City, there were still many spies from various forces lurking outside, watching the battle from a distance, and when they sent the news back to their respective forces, the creatures in the entire Northern Territory completely exploded. Did you hear that? The half-saint ancestor of Futian sect led a team to destroy the Tianyan Dynasty, but in the end they were wiped out by the Tianyan Dynasty. Who doesn't know this now? It's amazing. This Tianyan Dynasty is going to heaven. Not only do they have 2 semi-saints, but now they also master 2 holy weapons. This strength is probably enough to be called the number 1 in the Northern Territory, right? Do you think the Tianyan Dynasty is still hiding something? After all, before this, who would have dared to think that they not only have semi-saints, but also holy soldiers? Who knows? In short, the Futian sect has lost both his wife and his troops, and his vitality has been severely damaged. If 10,000 people go there, their lungs will probably explode. In various places in the Northern Territory, in major cities, tea-houses, taverns, brothels, and other places, the topics discussed today are almost all related to the Tianyan Dynasty. Not long after this news came out, another piece of news came out from the Tianyan Dynasty. His Majesty Emperor Yuan of the Tianyan Dynasty will hold a ceremony for the establishment of a queen and concubine in the palace in 8 days. He will invite all the celebrities and powerful people in the Northern Territory to come to the Tianyan Dynasty to watch the ceremony. This news came from Xuanhuan himself, and some people saw it. In Tianyan Imperial City, some streets are now decorated with lights and red carpets on the ground, symbolizing good luck, and the city is full of celebrations. As soon as the news came out, many people were shocked. Having just wiped out so many powerful men from the Futian sect, Tianyan Imperial City had just experienced a bloody battle, and now it was about to be decorated with lights and decorations for the ceremony of establishing a queen and concubine. This is not how you celebrate happiness, right? At the same time, Forest of 10,000 Beasts. At this time, in the Forest of 10,000 Beasts, the Wolf King, the Bear King, and the Tiger King are all sitting here with gloomy expressions. They had no news about Man Sun, Lang Yao, and others for several days, and the Wolf King felt a little uneasy from the beginning. At this time, they learned that the ancestor of Futian sect died in Tianyan Imperial City. The 3 kings' hearts suddenly sank to their lowest point. There are half-saints in the Tianyan Dynasty, and there is no news from Lang Yao and the others for so many days. I'm afraid the situation is very bad. The Wolf King was silent for a long time, and finally said. Then Dongfang Yuan, since he didn't kill Ganger before, maybe they are not dead yet. Maybe he was just locked up by Dongfang Yuan. King Bear still had a glimmer of hope in his heart. He believed that although the current strength of the Tianyan Dynasty was terrifying, killing Man Gang, Man Sun and others would do more harm than good to the Tianyan Dynasty. This will only completely make 10,000 beast forest and them fight to the death. The best way is still the same as before, catch them first, and then negotiate terms with them in 10,000 beasts forest. This is a solution that is beneficial to Tianyan Dynasty. Otherwise, if Man Sun and others are killed, the Tianyan Dynasty will gain nothing from now on, and will only push 10,000 beasts forest to an unbearable level. Old Bear is right. Perhaps, there is still hope. As long as Dongfang Yuan puts forward conditions, no matter what. Let's save the people first. The Tiger King also felt the same way at this moment, only the Wolf King frowned. His mood was different from that of the other two. In his heart, he felt a trace of regret after learning that all the people from Futian sect died tragically in Tianyan Imperial City. It's not that I regretted sending Lang Yao and the others, but that they regretted that they had offended the Tianyan Dynasty for the sake of the Enlightenment pill at the beginning, which led to the consequences of the series of events that happen now. It's a pity that regrets are useless. Besides, how could they have expected that a top force in the Tianyan Dynasty would undergo such a big change because of Dongfang Yuan? Suddenly, a huge bear clan ran in, holding 3 boxes in his hand. Clan leader. Clan leader. This was sent by someone from the Tianyan Dynasty, and they asked the clan leader to open it in person. The bear clan member said hurriedly. Tianyan Dynasty. Where is the person who sent it? King Xiong's eyes were shocked and he immediately asked. He has left. The bear clan replied. The Wolf King and Tiger King also shifted their gazes and looked at the 3 boxes in front of them. Could it be that what is in this box is the exchange condition proposed by Dongfang Yuan? King Xiong guessed as he looked at the box. Open to take a look. The Wolf King frowned, feeling a bad feeling in his heart. What kind of exchange needs to be packed in 3 boxes? This is too wrong. King Xiong waved his hand and saw 3 boxes being opened directly by spiritual power. Ganger. Manchuan. Dongfang Yuan. I am inseparable from you. Upon opening it, the expressions of the 3 kings changed instantly. Emotions such as shock, grief, anger, etc. could not help but appear. The Bear King even looked up to the sky with grief on his face and roared. What is contained in this box is nothing else but 3 animal heads. Moreover, they are still roasted animal heads, but the meat is already cold. As for the owner of the beast head, it is Man Gang, Man Sun and Lang Yao. At this time, under Manchuan's beast head, there was a note written by someone from Dongfang Yuan. The Wolf King picked it up and took a look. Suddenly, his extremely gloomy face revealed his murderous intent uncontrollably. The monsters in the 10,000 Beasts Forest are delicious and worthy of being the dominant force in the Northern Territory. 3 kings, remember to have more children. When I get greedy, I will naturally come to the 10,000 Beasts Forest to find meat to eat. Live well, don't cut off your incense, but don't let me, the Emperor, cut off your food rations. These words have an obvious meaning. It was Dongfang Yuan who regarded the forest of 10,000 beasts as his breeding ground. When I was hungry, I came to the 10,000 beasts forest to find meat to eat. Not only did he completely trample on the dignity of 10,000 beasts forest, but he also did not leave any face for the 3 kings. Dongfang Yuan. You're going too far. The Wolf King's eyes were fierce and full of bloodthirsty murderous intent. He grabbed the letter and crushed it into powder. The Tiger King's face was as gloomy as water, and he said, We, the forest of 10,000 beasts, and the Tianyan Dynasty will fight to the death from today onwards. The Wolf King calmed down for a moment and immediately made a decision. Old Xiong, big brother, you can set off directly at this time, go to Fengyan sect, discuss cooperation with 10,000 people, and gather our 2 overlord-level forces to jointly fight against the Tianyan Dynasty. I'll ask the ancestor to come out of seclusion. He also has a way to deal with the Tianyan Dynasty. Chapter 76 The Strong Man from the Eastern Holy Land. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is good. The Tiger King and the Bear King immediately set off for Fengyan sect after burying the 3 heads. Fengjianzong, at this time, the atmosphere in the entire Futian sect was depressed. The disciples and elders all heard about the result of the battle in Tianyan Imperial City, a series of disastrous news such as the death of the half-saint ancestor, the killing of the deputy sect elders one after another, the seizure of sacred weapons, the annihilation of the entire army, etc., shocked their hearts. For a moment, the disciples and Futian sect now felt a sense of fright in their hearts. Not knowing what to do next, on the main hall, the faces of the thousands of people were extremely gloomy. The second elder Gao Su and several other Tianzhuan realm elders were also sitting in their seats, their faces as dark as water, and they said nothing. Boom. The ancestor died and the heaven-breaking sword was taken away. This Dongfang abyss is really well hidden. That Xuanhuan was so angry that he smashed the table into pieces, and said with a look of gnashing his teeth in hatred, in this battle, their Futian sect's high-end combat power was directly reduced by 2/3, moreover, even the holy soldiers were lost, and now they had completely lost the capital to compete with the Tianyan Dynasty. Sect Master, the foundation of the Tianyan Dynasty is now unfathomable. Dongfang Yuan has now spread the news that a grand ceremony will be held, and he is provoking me, Futian sect, in front of everyone in the Northern Territory. This thief is really too humiliating. Gao Su also said with a face full of hatred. Thousands of people frowned and put their hands on their foreheads. He didn't understand that this was a naked provocation from the Tianyan dynasty, but now, he was really helpless. Father. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded from outside the hall. 10,000 people raised their heads, their eyes lit up, and they said excitedly, Xian'er. You are back. The person who spoke was none other than Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan was wearing green clothes, with a handsome face, and his cultivation level had reached the level of Xiaoyao realm. Following Xuanhuan, there were more than a dozen figures. The three old men in the front, wearing ancient robes, have a restrained aura, as if they have returned to their original nature, and their strength is unfathomable. There was also a young woman in red who looked like Xuanhuan's Taoist monk, also following him. As for the remaining people, thousands of people just glanced at them, and they were all shocked in their hearts. There is no one whose cultivation level is lower than the 7th level of Tianzhuan realm, and there are even several who are at the peak of Tianzhuan realm. Little Lord. The elders of Futian sect also stood up one after another when they saw Xuanhuan and his party entering the hall. Dad, let me introduce you. These three are Elder Yi Kai, Elder Su Ping, and Elder Xinzhong from Donggu Holy Land. The three of them were ordered by my master to escort me back to the Northern Territory. This is my master's daughter and my junior sister, Feng Jingyao. She is also coming back with me this time. As for the remaining elders, they are all strong men in our Eastern Holy Land, that Xuanhuan also introduced at this moment. Elders, I would like to thank you for escorting Xian'er back to visit relatives. One is deeply grateful. Xian'er didn't send me a message when he was about to arrive, and one didn't prepare anything. This is really, please don't be offended. I'll make arrangements right away. Elders are so tired from traveling and traveling, I'll have people prepare it right away so that I can entertain you all. Thousands of people came and clasped their fists at the powerful men of the Eastern Ancient Holy Land to show their respect. Sect Master Yuan is too polite, there is no need for this. Now that your sect has encountered such a thing, it is understandable that sect leader Yuan is feeling sad. The elder named Xinzhong also said with understanding on his face at this moment. Dad, on the way back, we heard about what happened in Tianyan Imperial City. That's why I didn't pass the news to you, but came back directly with the elders. Xuanhuan said, thousands of people came to see this and sighed, oh, I made you laugh. I didn't expect that Futian sect would be in such a predicament as soon as you all arrived in the Northern Territory. I'm so ashamed. Xuanhuan shook his head, with a look of exhaustion and helplessness on his face, and said to Shen a little embarrassedly. Uncle Yuan, you don't need to be ashamed. Who does the Tianyan dynasty mean? In the eyes of my Donggu Holy Land, they are not even ants. Uncle Yuan, don't worry. This Tianyan dynasty will be left to our Donggu Holy Land to handle. That at this time, Feng Jingyao, who was holding Xuanhuan's arm, directly intervened. Yao is right. Father, don't worry. Now that all the elders are here, it will be easy to destroy the Tianyan Dynasty. You don't have to worry. I heard that Dongfang Yuan will hold a ceremony to establish his queen in a few days. At that time, I will turn his wedding ceremony into a funeral. Xuanhuan said with a hint of fierceness on his face. When thousands of people heard this, their eyes suddenly turned to the three heavy people. He couldn't help but ask, Xianer, I wonder what the realm of these three elders is. Dad, the three of them, Elder Zhong, are all strong men above the fourth level of the Saint Realm. In this northern region, the three of them are invincible. After Xuanhuan's introduction, the three of them smiled slightly but said nothing. But there was a sense of superiority on his face. In the eyes of the three of them, if they wanted to take over the Tianyan Dynasty, just one person would be enough to crush Dongfang Yuan to death. Among the tens of thousands of people there were Gao Su and other Fengyan sect members. When they heard this, their eyes lit up, three powerful saints. Moreover, there are more than a dozen Tianzun-level people, and this lineup is completely enough to overwhelm the Tianyan Dynasty. It is good. With all the elders from Donggu Holy Land here, it seems that the Tianyan Dynasty is not far from death. Second elder, please go down immediately and arrange a banquet to welcome the return of the young master and entertain the elders of Donggu Holy Land. Everyone felt completely at ease, their previous worries were gone, and they said happily, yes. Sect Master. The atmosphere in the entire Fengyan sect, because of the arrival of Xuanhuan and others, the dark clouds instantly dissipated, and everyone no longer worried about the Tianyan Dynasty. On the contrary, they look forward to time passing faster. Waiting for the Queen's establishment ceremony in a few days, the Tianyan Dynasty will be completely reduced to history. Tianyan Palace. You. Drink some water to feel better. Late at night, in the dormitory, the lights burned for more than 3 hours. Xian Shinro kept tossing until late at night before finally falling asleep peacefully. While sleeping, I didn't know if it was a dream or something. The mouth has always maintained an O shape, as if frozen. Dongfang Yuan, a sage with one heart, walked out of the palace gate, looking at the stars in the sky. Just when he was comfortable and about to sigh, suddenly, a system prompt sounded. Chapter 77 Su Baijie goes to the Northern Territory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! It has been detected that there is a daughter of destiny in the North Territory, Su Baijie, the wife of the Pavilion Master of Tiandi Pavilion. She has a destiny value of 90 points, a high level of qualifications, an extremely ice-holy body, and her true body is from the nine-tailed Divine Fox clan. It is recommended that she can be adopted as a concubine. There are many benefits. Suddenly, something rang in my mind. Dongfang Yuan looked a little confused. Madam of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion? Does this system allow me to inherit Chao's thief ambitions? But when he thought about it again, he felt something was wrong. Tiandi Pavilion is a powerful force in the sea area, so why did Su Baijie come to the northern area? Moreover, the nine-tailed Divine Fox clan, isn't this the race of the Zhongshan continent? The nine-tailed Divine Fox clan has the blood of divine beasts flowing through their bodies, which is extremely precious. How come they are here? Suddenly, Dongfang Yuan's mind was a little confused. First of all, for now, he doesn't know where Su Baijie is, nor does he know her specific cultivation level. This woman can actually become the wife of the Pavilion Master of Tiandi Pavilion, and her strength may not be lower than that of the Holy Realm. Thinking of this, Dongfang Yuan clarified his thoughts. Well, let's follow the plan first. After the ceremony, we will deal with the Fengyan sect, and then open the Sun and Moon treasures, and then we can completely realize the unification of the Northern Territory. Dongfang Yuan decided like this, and then stopped thinking about it. He began to sit facing the starry sky and immersed himself in practicing the 6 paths of reincarnation. As long as he can cultivate the power of reincarnation to a small degree, he will directly condense the gate of reincarnation and see if he can summon the souls of other empresses from within to reincarnate. If he continues to cultivate it himself, then the harem army will be his strongest weapon. Northern Territory, Tianlin City. At this moment, in an inn, a graceful figure, wearing a snow-white scarf, a beautiful woman with a seductive charm all over her body, was sitting in the room. Her ears moved slightly, and she could clearly hear the conversations of passers-by on the street and drinkers in the inn. The grand ceremony for the establishment of a queen and the concubine. Tianyan Dynasty. He, it looks like things are getting more and more interesting. That's all, since the full moon night hasn't arrived yet, let's go and have a look. This person is none other than Su Baijie. I saw her figure move and disappear directly into the inn. She entered Qian's house as if she were in a deserted place. Today, the Qian family, because of Qian Shinrou's relationship, is about to leave for the Tianyan Dynasty to observe the ceremony. As for Su Baijie, within the Qian family, she directly exchanged identities with the concubine of the head of the Qian family, and set off with Qian Jiuyou and the ancestors of the Qian family to the Tianyan Dynasty, Tianjinmen. At this time, in the Tianjinmen main hall, the sect leader Jianihan, the deputy sect leader Gu Juanli, and all the strong men from the Tianjian sect all sat down. What suggestions do you have for the Tianyan Dynasty to hold a grand ceremony? Jianihan asked. Nowadays, the strength of Tianyan Dynasty is already higher than that of Tianjian sect. As for the ceremony, the Tianyan Dynasty had already spread the news and invited them, so naturally they couldn't neglect it. However, the news that Xuanhuan and the people from Donggu Holy Land had arrived at Fengyan sect was not concealed and is now spreading. On one side was the Tianyan Dynasty, which had a profound foundation, and on the other side was the Fengyan sect, which was backed by the Eastern Ancient Holy Land. All of a sudden, they were really stumped. Master, in my opinion, the Fengyan sect now has the support of Donggu Holy Land, and the Tianyan Dynasty no longer has the ability to resist them. This viewing ceremony will inevitably involve a bloody storm. Otherwise, why don't we get involved? Said an elder from the Tianjian sect. No. Sect master, it doesn't matter whether other ordinary forces go or not, but the attitude of our Tianjian sect is very important. In my opinion, not only do we have to send people to the Tianyan Dynasty to observe the ceremony, but the sect owner also has to go in person, so that we can show our sincerity. Even if we know that there will be a bloody storm, no matter what the final result is, if we go to Tianjian sect, we may not be remembered by Fengyan sect and Tianyan Dynasty. But if we don't go, they will definitely remember. No matter who wins, their next target will definitely be us. Gu Juanli said hurriedly. Jianihan thought quietly for a while. Indeed, the snipe and the clam are at odds with each other. If any force wants to be the fisherman, it will have to bear the risk of backlash. It is good. Prepare the gift immediately, Junli, and you and I will go to the Tianyan Dynasty to attend the grand ceremony. Jianihan decided immediately. Yes. Fengjianzong, at this time, inside a house, the laughter of a man and a woman kept reverberating in the dormitory. After the lingering was over, Xuanhuan lay on the bed with his upper body naked, his face looking satisfied. Feng Jingyao was wearing a thin sheer gauze, her skin was looming, like a little wild cat, lying on Xuanhuan's chest. Yaoer, you are so naughty. With skills like yours, no man can stand it in bed. Xuanhuan smiled on his face, hugged Feng Jingyao, and gently stroked her hair. Brother Yu, do you like it? Feng Jingyao licked her lower lips with her tongue, her face looking shiny and charming. It goes without saying. No matter where I go from now on, I will take Yaoer with me. Xuanhuan hugged Feng Jingyao tightly, felt the heat of her skin, and kissed her sexy mouth. By the way, brother Yu, senior brother Gu Tianyi told us to take Han Wanxiang back with him on this trip. Don't forget it. At this time, Feng Jingyao suddenly remembered. I know. But it's a pity, senior brother Tianyi, I'm afraid it's a step too late. Xuanhuan shook his head and said. What does this mean? Feng Jingyao asked confused. I heard from my father earlier that this time Dongfang Yuan held a ceremony to establish a queen and concubine, and among them was Han Wanxiang. And Han Wanxiang seems to have been staying in the palace for many days. There is a high probability that Xuanhuan Yuan has been taken away by Dongfang Yuan. Xuanhuan's face became slightly solemn and he said. What? Then if this happens, senior brother Tianyi must not be angry. This damn Dongfang Yuan is really a disaster. It's better for brother Yu. He only loves Yaoer. He's not half-hearted like other men. Feng Jingyao said a little shyly, her little mouth stopped at Wan Yuxuan's neck, sucking slightly. That is. Yaoer is my first woman, and she will also be my last. When Wan Yuxuan said this, only he knew how weak his confidence was. If it was his first time, how could he and Feng Jingyao exchange 18 martial arts skills continuously on the first night, even the core key points of the movements, and wherever there is a need for padding, he is extremely familiar with them. He said it was his first time, so the sow had to climb a tree. We will see if senior brother Tianyi will still want Han Wanxiang if he knows that she has been taken away by others. But in my opinion, no matter how good senior brother Tianyi is, he should first enjoy Han Wanxiang's acacia holy body, and then slowly torture her. Wan Yuxuan touched Feng Jingyao's delicate and white back and said to himself. Chapter 78 The Holy King of Futian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As time goes by, the day for the Tianyan Dynasty to hold the grand ceremony is gradually approaching. The streets of Tianyan Imperial City are now decorated with lights and red carpets cover the ground. Everyone in the Imperial City is beaming with joy and the atmosphere is excellent. At this time, inside Fengyan sect, thousands of people went to personally receive the Tiger King and Bear King of the 10,000 Beasts Forest, after hearing that the two of them represented the 10,000 Beasts Forest and were coming to form an alliance with the Fengyan sect to deal with the Tianyan Dynasty. Thousands of people naturally welcomed them. After discussing for a while, they made a decision. The strong men from the two forces will enter the Tianyan Imperial City together on the day when the Tianyan Dynasty holds a grand ceremony. Let Tianyan Dynasty's wedding gift become their funeral. After the Tiger King and the Bear King made plans, they returned to the Forest of 10,000 Beasts, prepared to make arrangements, and then set off for Tianyan Imperial City. At this time, inside a house of Fengyan sect, Xuanhuan went to sit in the house with Wan Yuxuan and his son. Father, the elders of the Holy Land are already here, so why do we need the help of 10,000 Beasts Forest? In Wan Yuxuan's words, he also looked down on the Bear King and the Tiger King. He is now a true disciple of the Eastern Holy Land and has seen the outside world. Knowing that the world is vast, the power in the Northern Territory is far inferior to that in the Sea Territory. Any of the three elders who came back with him are capable of destroying the Forest of 10,000 Beasts. Therefore, he felt that Fengyan sect did not need to cooperate with 10,000 Beasts Forest. They were not worthy. Son, the Forest of 10,000 Beasts is in front of the Eastern Holy Land, although it can't even be considered an ant. However, even the strong men of the Eastern Ancient Holy Land must think twice before destroying the Forest of 10,000 Beasts. Xuanhuan smiled at this moment and said with a meaningful expression. There was some confusion in Wan Yuxuan's eyebrows. Father, why is this? Could it be that there is some unknown background behind this Forest of 10,000 Beasts? Wan Xiang said calmly. There is no background in the Forest of 10,000 Beasts, but the ancestor of the Lion King in the Forest of 10,000 Beasts, although he is only a semi-saint, has some relationship with the Holy King Futian. Floating Holy King. How is this possible? How could a figure like the Holy King Futian be related to the ancestor of 10,000 Beasts Forest? Wan Yuxuan looked very shocked. He felt incredible. That was the Holy King of Futian. One of the giants in the sea. You can tell by his name that he is a strong man at the level of a holy king, an existence that is equal to the Holy Lord of the Holy Land. It was really hard for him to imagine that the ancestor of 10,000 Beasts Forest was so virtuous and capable that he could interact with the Holy King of Futian. This is a coincidence. Thousands of years ago, the Holy King of Futian came to visit the Northern Territory, and the ancestor of 10,000 Beasts Forest happened to be his mount for a period of time. After being appreciated by the Holy King of Futian, the ancestor of 10,000 Beasts Forest was completely the Northern Territory has made rapid progress, and after reaching the semi-saint level, it has been closed for a long time. And because of the relationship with the Futian Holy King, no one dares to shake the dominant power status of the 10,000 Beasts Forest. Wan Wanchang also said it with a serious face. Non my family, its heart must be different. There is only one demon clan force in the entire Northern Territory. the 10,000 Beasts Forest. If it were not for its relationship with the Futian Holy King, to be honest, naturally, it is impossible for the other human overlord forces to tolerate a monster force being on an equal footing with them. I see. No wonder the Tiger King and the two came with a confident look. It turned out that their backer was the Futian Holy King. Xuanhuan also fully understood and had to sigh with emotion at the luck of the ancestor of the 10,000 Beast Forest. It's really good. Ha 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 ha. It doesn't matter. As long as the Tianyan Dynasty can be destroyed, it wouldn't be a bad thing if one more 10,000 Beasts Forest intervenes. Wan Wanchang said with a smile, P.S., add another chapter and give everyone gifts. Chapter 79 The Horror of Dongfang Yuan's Harem. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today is the day when the grand ceremony will be held. Tianyan Imperial City was overcrowded, and powerful men from all forces in the Northern Territory arrived at Tianyan Imperial City one after another. Dongfang Yuan ordered the palace gates to be opened wide. Today is a great day, and strong men from all walks of life are welcome to enter the palace to observe the ceremony. In the square of the Imperial Palace, many officials from the Tianyan Dynasty were already sitting on the field. Many celebrities from all over the Northern Territory have arrived at the center of the square. They sit on one side and look at the altar at the top of the square. That is the place where the great ceremony will be held, and the ceremony of offering sacrifices to heaven will be held. At that time, Emperor Yuan of the Tianyan Dynasty will lead the concubines to the altar and burn incense to worship heaven. Now in the square, in addition to the officials of the Tianyan Dynasty, there are thousands of figures, all of whom are prominent figures in the Northern Territory. For example, people from the Qian family and Han Yunkuan were also on the square, surrounded by the God-Zancing guards and the golden armored guards, leading some imperial guards to guard the surroundings. There are also shadow guards lurking in some of the surrounding shadows. If an accident occurs, they can be taken precautions against it. The head of the Li family will give you 3 10,000 years Shantian fruit and 10 4th-grade pure heart pills. The head of the Li family, Li Pin, will come with all the senior officials of the family to attend the ceremony. The master of the Thousand Swords sect will present 3 9th-grade spiritual weapons and 5 pieces of 8th-grade heart armor. Xuanhuan, the master of the Thousand Swords sect, will come with all the senior officials in the sect to attend the ceremony. There was a lot of discussion in the square, and several loud voices rang out. It was the strong men from the Li family and Qiandaman who arrived in the square, and brought generous gifts. Spiritual weapons are divided into grades 1 to 10. Above the 10th level, there is a holy weapon. The Qiandao sect is a weapon-refining force, but sending so many spiritual weapons to them at once would be considered a major hemorrhage for them. The Li family and Qiandaman are 2 first-class forces in the Northern Territory. Their gifts were accepted by someone arranged by King Tianyu next to them. On the square, some leaders of other first-rate forces also came over to chat with them. Brother Li, you are here too. Ha ha ha, Emperor Yuan is going to hold a ceremony to establish his queen, so of course our Li family doesn't dare to be late. Master Qian sect, this gift from you Qian Dao sect is really heavy and full of thoughts. Of course. Of course, our Qian Dao sect will absolutely attach great importance to His Majesty Yuan Huang's grand ceremony. In the square, most of the powerful men from many forces were chatting with the powerful men they were familiar with. At this time, Qian Jiuyou was standing in the crowd, and King Tianyu was talking to him next to him. Master Qian, your Majesty said that in today's ceremony, the blood of a saint will be sacrificed to heaven to make this ceremony more interesting. So, you people of the Qian family, no matter what trouble happens, there is no need to panic and don't mess up your position. Your Majesty has already prepared for it. King Tianyu said. After hearing this, Qian Jiuyou nodded solemnly and said, Don't worry, I understand. Master, Mrs. Li seems to be missing. At this time, an elder from the Qian family camp suddenly spoke up. Qian Jiuyou looked back and suddenly realized that his concubine was missing. This. Has any of you seen Lil? Qian Jiuyou looked at the Qian family and asked. No, master. None of us saw Mrs. Li. It seemed that she disappeared after entering the palace. Some wealthy elders said. What? He disappeared after entering the palace. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Qian Jiuyou suddenly became a little anxious. This is the Tianyan Palace. Nowadays, there is a mixture of fish and dragons in the palace. Powerful people from all sides in the northern territory are scattered. If there is any accident, it is really hard to say. The elders of the Qian family were silent for a while, not knowing what to say. After they entered the Tianyan Palace, their minds were focused on the complicated figures in the square. Who would have thought that the family master's concubine would suddenly disappear? Master Qian, don't worry. Let's do this. I will immediately arrange for someone to search for Mrs. Li in the palace. King Tianyu also said something when he saw this. He had met Qian Jiuyou's concubine several times before when he was at Qian's house. Okay, it's work. King Tianyu helped to find him, and Qian Jiuyou felt a little relieved. King Tianyu nodded, and immediately arranged for 3 imperial guards to search for Mrs. Li in the palace. At this time, in the deep palace, Dongfang Yuan was wearing a dragon robe, with an imperial crown hanging on his head, and his figure stood upright in a side hall. In the Demon Lord Tower, Faping, including Xuanhuan and Arrow God, stood on both sides of the hall. Prime Minister Zhua, is there any news? Dongfang Yuan looked calm and asked with a smile. Your Majesty, the spies just reported that the people from 10,000 Beasts Forest and Fengyan sect are not far from the imperial city. Presumably, they can enter the palace before the ceremony. Xuanhuan replied seriously. Your Majesty, do we need to set up defenses outside the city to prevent them from destroying the ceremony? The Arrow God asked after hearing this. Dongfang Yuan looked calm and shook his head. The people from Donggu Holy Land will definitely follow the people from Fengyan sect. Among them, there are many who are truly powerful in the Saint Realm. With the strength of the few of you, it is still difficult to stop them. Besides, I didn't want to stop them in the first place and just let them enter the palace. In this grand ceremony, in addition to conferring the title of queen and concubine, I will also sacrifice the blood of a saint to Huang Tian in front of all living beings in the northern territory. Dongfang Yuan smiled evilly. In the harem, in a sleeping hall, Xiao Qingli, Medusa, Han Wanxiang, and Qian Xinro, the 4 beauties, have already been crowned with beautiful women, and all of them have put on exquisite makeup. The beautiful temperament of the 4 people is unique in its own way. But when it comes to appearance, all 4 of them can be said to be extremely beautiful, with an appearance that will captivate a country, and each one of them is more beautiful than any other. At this moment, a figure quietly appeared outside their dormitory, observing what was going on inside. Who? Xiao Qingli's soul power was so powerful that she immediately noticed something was wrong. The next moment Medusa, a burst of power shot out from her fingertips. The powerful flame power penetrated the outer palace door and shot directly on a wall. The entire wall was instantly reduced to ashes. The figures of the 4 women flashed and appeared outside, found no one outside the door. Sister, do you feel wrong? This doesn't look like a trace of someone. Qian Xinro asked immediately. She and Han Wanxiang were weak in cultivation, and their soul power was far less powerful than Xiao Qingli's, so they were at a loss at this moment. No. There must be someone. My senses are not wrong. Someone must have been standing here just now. Xiao Qingli was wearing a phoenix robe, with a serious face, and in her behavior and conversation, she had an air of unparalleled elegance and unparalleled dignity. She seemed to be a cold and beautiful empress, standing on the 9 heavens galaxy with a cold temperament, looking down at the people of the world indifferently. Her temperament and her demeanor at this moment can't help but make people feel a potential sense of oppression, and they dare not speak out to refute. P.S. There were always mistakes in the chapter released today, which gave me a big headache. Chapter 80. Everyone arrives, on the eve of the ceremony. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Indeed, someone was standing here just now. The cultivation level is at least the level of the great sage, and the speed is very fast. The fact that he can avoid my attack is enough proof. Medusa also spoke out at this moment. What? The realm of the great sage. How come a powerful person from the great saint realm appears in the deep palace? Qian Xinro and Han Wanxiang were both shocked when they heard this. I don't know. Although she dodged my attack, she left behind a trace of aura. She is a monster, and the power she cultivated should be related to ice. Medusa stretched out her hand and felt the space in front of her. She clearly felt that the temperature of the space her hand touched suddenly dropped. Let's send a message to His Majesty first. Qian Shinro said immediately. The girls nodded, and after finally passing the news to Dongfang Yuan, they returned to the dormitory. At the same time, in a garden some distance from the harem, Mrs. Li, transformed by Baijie, stood in a corner of the garden, looking in the direction of the harem, with a somewhat incredible look in her eyes. How is this possible? There is actually a powerful man in the great saint realm among the concubines in Dongfang Yuan's harem. What a powerful force, and the attack was fierce and decisive. If I hadn't avoided it earlier, I would have been seriously injured by now. And that woman, she should be the queen. Her soul perception is too scary, right? What kind of monsters are these women Dongfang Yuan is looking for? Baijie was in a state of panic. She really could not have imagined that there was someone even more powerful than herself among the women from Dongfang Yuan, and Xiao Qingli's soul perception made her even more frightened when she thought about it. Before coming to Tianyan Dynasty, she had no idea that women from Dongfang Yuan could be so terrifying. Forget about the acacia holy body, there is also a soul that is ridiculously powerful, and there is even a powerful person in the great saint realm. How can this Eastern Yuan be so virtuous? A woman who can control such terror. Is it possible that Dongfang Yuan also has some evil side that others don't know about? Baijie thought at this time that since Dongfang Yuan could subdue these women, he was definitely not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Perhaps he hides deeper. Baijie thought about it and decided that she would wait and see what happens next. We can no longer risk entering the deep palace. With these women here, the harem is like a dragon's pool and a tiger's den. Baijie turned around and left, walking back to the square. At the same time, Dongfang Yuan in the side hall received news from Qian Shinro. After learning that a great saint had secretly sneaked into the harem, Dongfang Yuan couldn't help but frown. Your Majesty, what happened? Seeing Dongfang Yuan frowning, Xuanhuan also asked immediately. Dongfang Yuan did not respond to him, but frowned and thought for a while. The realm of the great sage, the power of ice, monsters. Could this be the holy body of extreme ice, Baijie? After pondering for a long time, Dongfang Yuan suddenly remembered the system prompts from the previous night. The new daughter of destiny, Baijie, the wife of the master of Tianyan Pavilion, has arrived in the northern territory, and what she cultivates is the power of ice. Her strength is above the holy level, and her true body is from the nine-tailed fox clan. It just matches all the information about the person who infiltrated. It seems that they are close to each other. It should be Baijie. But why does she come to Tianyan Dynasty? She is the wife of the pavilion master of Tianyan Pavilion. She came to Tianyan Dynasty in person. What exactly did she see? After thinking about it, Dongfang Yuan used the elimination method to eliminate the things on his body. Finally, he found it. There is only one thing that may interest Baijie, and that is, the treasure of the sun and moon. From Feng Mabai's memory, Dongfang Yuan learned that the sun and moon treasure was left by a powerful man named the Sun and Moon Holy Emperor. The treasures left by a holy emperor are enough to make a great sage be tempted. Combined with the fact that Nan Menu who escaped was from Tianyan Pavilion, Dongfang Yuan was even more sure that he was definitely Baijie, and Dongfang Yuan also thought carefully in his heart. Baijie's cultivation was that of a great saint, so in the entire Tianyan palace, only he and Medusa could deal with her. There is no way anyone else could be her opponent. In addition, she has now been discovered and knows how powerful Medusa is. In a short period of time, she will definitely not show up again. That's it. Let's sort out the next things first, and then figure out how to find her. Dongfang Yuan thought so in his heart. To be honest, he has no clues about Baijie now, so looking for her in Tianyan Palace is undoubtedly like looking for a needle in a haystack, so it's better to ignore it for now. Anyway, she won't take action rashly now, so let's put it aside for now. After the ceremony is over, think of ways to deal with her. My emperor is fine. Feipeng, Chonglu, you two go to the palace entrance. After the people who are supposed to come in, you will guard the palace door. I won't let a fly escape. And Prime Minister Zhua, please get ready. The ceremony is coming soon. It's time for the show to begin. Dongfang Yuan immediately ordered. Yes, Your Majesty. As time goes by, there are more and more people in the square, and Su Baijie has returned to the Qian family's camp. King Tianyu stood on the side, chatting with Han Yinkuan about some things, and his eyes were checking the surroundings from time to time, for fear of any accidents. Tianyan sect presents 10 pieces of 9 spirit black iron, 10,000 star beads, 3 9th-grade spiritual weapons, and 3 5th-grade marrow cleansing pills. The master of Jianyan sect of Tianyan sect, along with the strongest members of the sect, are here to watch the ceremony. The Wuji sect presents 10 sets of 9th-grade diamond armor and 3 6th-grade angry heart pills. The Wuji sect's war master, together with all the powerful members of the sect, is here to watch the ceremony. That at this time, people from the other 2 overlord forces, Tianyan sect and Wuji sect, also arrived. Zhan Wuji's figure was tall, and Jianihan's figure was as straight as a sharp edge. The 2 of them, one on the left and the other on the right, led the strong men of their sects to the square. Seeing this, King Tianyu and Han Yinkuan walked over one after another. Zhan, master of the sword sect, you are welcome to personally bring people to watch the ceremony. Your Majesty, Emperor Yuan, has already arranged seats for you, so you can take your seats immediately. King Tianyu greeted him with a smile. Brother Zhan, Brother Jian, long time no see. Han Yinkuan also stepped forward and said hello. The meeting between the heads of several major overlord forces in the Northern Territory attracted the attention of many people nearby. P.S. Please remind me to update and give me some small gifts. Thank you.